Hi, I'm Sarah, and I quit my job at Google.
In the fall of 2019, I was granted a protection order against one of my students.
What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of The Red Pill. People are walking away from their jobs in huge numbers. For some, it's the best decision they've ever made. But for others, it could turn out to be the biggest mistake of their lives. Watch the video and let me know what you think in the comment below.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I quit my job at Google. Oh, I've been so scared to say that. But to be honest with you guys, I've really hated the person that I became the last 5 years because my identity was so tied to working in corporate, working on my YouTube channel, working on my podcast. It is so easy to romanticize this life and buy into the hustle. But for the majority of my adulthood, I really put a good chunk of my personal creative goals aside because I was so laser focused on buying my parents their dream home and building out a financial safety net. I stopped making art like I used to, and I got so much burnout and so much back pain sitting at a desk for over 80 hours a week. I became super mediocre at everything because I couldn't give any one thing my full attention, and tangentially I felt really ugly. Like my boyfriend says, careers are not linear and we often have decades to figure it out. So maybe this is just a gentle reminder to you and me that you don't need to do everything at once. So far in this chapter, I've been in the pottery studio working on a small business and planning the second season of my podcast with way more love. And while it may seem like a stupid financial decision to leave corporate, I really hope that I get to make myself proud for taking a risk. So to rewrite the intro, hi, I'm Sarah, and I like pottery, art, creating things, sharing my life, and connecting with people. So follow along to see how this next chapter unfolds.
Has anyone quit their job and instantly regretted it? Because I did this morning and I'm like, what the fuck did I just do? So I've talked to you about how stressful my job is and how tired I am during this pregnancy, and I do make a significant amount of money, but to me it just hasn't been worth it. My boyfriend has been telling me over and over again, quit, we're good, you don't need to work. But I'm like, I work too hard, and also if I get added to his insurance, it's going to be too much out of his paycheck. We would have to rush to get married. I don't want to do that. So I'm like, okay, I found another job. I got the job offer this week, and it pays less than half of what I'm currently making. Less than half. So that is $70,000 decrease in pay. And again, we don't really need the money, but at the same time, I'm like, I've been so accustomed to my lifestyle of not spending crazy amounts, but still being able to buy stuff when I want to, not really having to think about it. So I'm just like, what the fuck did I just do? What did I do? And my boss wants me to stay, obviously, but I've already committed to this other job. Literally had to get the drug test this afternoon, but I'm just like, what did I fucking do? Am I going to regret this? But at the same time, I feel so relieved because I'm like, I'm not going to have this stress the rest of my pregnancy, and they know I'm pregnant. They know I need to take leave. The insurance works out, so I'm literally ending insurance in one place and starting insurance the next day there. It's perfect, but I'm so scared. I've never taken this much of a pay cut before, and I just don't to rely on a man for the first time in my life. I have never relied on a man other than my father. And even as an adult, my dad didn't pay for my stuff. I paid for my own stuff. So now I have to rely on this guy to pay for all my stuff. I'm scared.
As I mentioned in a prior video, in the fall of 2019, I was granted a protection order against one of my students. The protection order also includes my 2 children and my husband. When I say that my school was not supportive, I think that's an understatement. Some of the administration were actually mad. They were mad at me. They voiced their anger about it. As a matter of fact, while all this was happening, and if you've ever been in a situation like that, it really felt like I was dying slowly. Every single day was a struggle to get up, get dressed, put one foot in front of the other, and go to work. And during this difficult time, I was actually called in and sat down with administration. And when I say administration, I'm talking about superintendent, assistant superintendent, 2 principals, and then I had union representation. But in the midst of this very, very low point and very scary time for me and my family, I was called into a meeting with these people, and I was criticized openly in the meeting for... Actually, I don't know why they were so critical of me. I think had you been a fly on the wall in that conversation, you would have thought that I was pursuing a restraining order against my administration. As a matter of fact, the assistant superintendent actually threatened to contact the judge who was overseeing my case and have a talk with her about it because... Actually, I don't know the answer to the because he was mad at me. I don't know. Like, this is the shit I have to sort out with my counselor every single week because it's complicated. And as I sit here now, I look back and I can clearly see that I should have gotten up, left that room, and really left my job, to be honest. But I did try to stay, and it only went downhill from there, as you can imagine. For example, the day after, I had to go to court for the second time, which was very painful because he was a juvenile. I had to go to court with him and with his family. And it was the last thing I wanted to do, but I did it. For the record, I didn't take a day of work off from the time that I found out about all of this concerning behavior and the 2 court dates. But the day after my court date, I took a personal day. And while I was trying to relax, the head of personnel actually called me to ask me why I had taken a personal day that day.
I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Leave before you're ready. Leave before you're ready. Leave the job. Leave the state or the city you're living in. Leave the relationship. Leave the friendship. Leave the party. Leave before you are ready. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Leave before you're ready. Leave before you're ready. Leave the job.
Hi, my name is Emily. I'm 30 years old, and I have no home and no job. Yes, you did hear that correctly. 4 months ago, I decided to quit my corporate job of 8 years and leave all of my financial security and security blanket that I had behind to try and go out and find something more meaningful for me to do. And what I realized is actually that there is a lot of girls and women out there that are kind of feeling the same way. And the reason I know this to be true is because me and one of my best friends decided to start a virtual online community for women. So what I will say is, I don't know. I don't know the answer. If you are feeling like this, I haven't had it all figured out. I'm very much so in the process. I don't have another job yet. I don't have the answers. I don't know where I'm moving. But I do know having community has made it that much better.
Yo, let me know what you think in the comment. Like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one.